ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधिता भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः। प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। भीष्मद्रोणतटाग्जयधृतजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला। अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम्। लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसि न श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थितं न मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः।
गीता महात्म्यम धरोवाच भगवन् परमेशान भक्तिरव्य
विचारिणि
प्रारब्धं
भुज्यमानस्य
कथं भवति
हे प्रभु।
श्री विष्णुर्वाच प्रारब्धं भुज्यमानो हि गीताभ्यासर तत्सदा समुक्तः ससुखी लोके कर्मणा लोप लिप्यते. This is the Gita Mahatmyam. It's a very means a descriptive sloga describing the benefits of Bhagavad Gita. So the Dhyana sloga is very popular. So we thought of adding one or two slogas after reciting the Dhyana sloga from Gita Mahatmyam. So this is the one. So meaning is separately let us see at the end of the means the final class we can have few meanings of the Gita Mahatmyam. Now we will start the class 19 and here we have to end the second module, that is Karma Yoga, then Dhyana. Dhyana Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, then benefits. Now we are concentrating on the Dhyana and also benefits. So now this, up to Karma Yoga, this is triangular format. When it comes to this Dhyana Yoga, it is not normal meditation. Not meditating on Ishta Devata, or not meditating on breathe watching. It is nothing to do, it is not with blankness, it is not even Nirvikalpa Samadhi. It is actually meditating upon the nature of Atma as myself, contemplating on the nature of Atma. So it is binary format. So first Shadga, that is Tvam Padartha, there, that is you are described through Karma Yoga and also so many other things about the Jiva. But all the three Shadgas they contain both binary as well as triangular format. So now we are moving from triangular format to binary format. Triangular format is Jiva Jagat Ishvara. So Karma Yoga it is there, and in the religious also triangular format, Karma Yoga it is also there. After that, when it comes to Dhyanam and Jnanam, we are switching over to triangular format. This is the introduction for this final class of Dhyana Yoga. Here, this has to be done. Means what? Meditation as contemplation has to be done only and only after Sravanam, Mananam and the initial part of Nididhyasanam. So in the Sravanam itself, you should get the knowledge of Atma. So that is very important. The Sravanam, you should get the knowledge of Atma. Then Atma is non-different from me. If I tell, I have to tell like that. You have to tell like you. Means when you understand Atma is non-different from me, and nature of Atma is nature of me. This much knowledge should be there, but there will be blocks. So after all the after the required preparatory requirements, means after meeting the preparatory requirements of Sadhana Chatushtayam, to the extent that you will be able to get the benefits. So if you don't get the benefits after Sravanam, Mananam and the initial part of Nididhyasanam, you have to increase the preparatory requirements, especially Viveka Vairagya. Other things we have already told, Samadhi Shakti Dambati and Mukshutvam. Viveka Vairagyam is very important. So both you again go and improve it, then benefits will start. That is the block removal. So this contemplation has to be done only after understanding about your real nature and getting convinced that you are non-different from Atma. That is logical clarification of doubts, internalization, reflection, and also that is this dhyana. So the first sloka, what we will do, we will have the 24th sloka of
24 and 25.
24, 25 combined also, okay. So we will start with the slokas.
Prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvanasheshataha manasaivendriyagramam viniyamya samantataha shanairuparamid buddhya dhrutigruhitaya atma samstam manakritva nakinchidapi chintayet.
Chapter 6, verse 24 and 25. Giving up totally all desires, which are born of thought, completely withdrawing the group of sense organs and organs of action by the mind alone, with the intellect endowed with perseverance, may one slowly resolve the mind in Atman, making the mind abide in the self. May one not think of anything else. That's the translation.
in this same second module, Udveha, that is the force of the desire, has to be managed. That was Bhagavan's teaching. Now, in this one, Sankalpa. See, Sankalpa, when the stage, see, when you, Sankalpa, exactly English word is, you decide. If you see some item, when you decide that I want it, that is what Sankalpa. Then, what will happen? You will do many things to get it. In this stage, you have to educate your intellect with this teaching at the stage of Sankalpa. When you decide to go for it, it is not against any ambition. That's very important. It is not any ambition. Ambition means normal sense, okay, but it should be a kind of contribution. When you see contribution as the main thing, ambition will be spontaneous. Will not be at the cost of others. Will not be against the dharma. So contribution. That should be the main aim. With body, mind, intellect, you contribute to the, not only to the family, to the society, to the nation and the humanity. So that if you aim it, ambition will be spontaneous and you can enjoy and progress in your life. So when you do that, at the stage of Sankalpa itself, the contribution aspect of the your activity should have priority. These are not in just books and this thing. Actually, the Yoga Center also started with that only. What about the yoga knowledge? I got cured of very severe problem of bronchitis, asthma for 40 years. So why can't I share? Similarly, what happened spiritual? When I was getting benefit, why can't I share? Similarly, when I lost sight and we joined the Blind Association, many people joined, but I was getting some extra force within me and started so many activities along with learning so many things in the Blind Association. Others were only learning the movement, other things. So I was thinking, why the will, strengthening the will, why others are not undertaking any activities? So at that time, I was trying to find out any method to strengthen the will. Strengthen the will. I was perplexed. I was able to do having lot of activities. Others were only expecting sympathy. I was thinking why others are not able to increase the will. But by God's grace, I was in the right track. The pursuit of self-knowledge, when you progress, the willpower increases spontaneously, without any effort. More and more you identify yourself with your self, Atma. Other aspects of the Antakarana, Buddhi, then memory, then notions, responsibility. They are more towards contribution that increases your willpower. That is what. You see, if you work for yourself, it is totally opposite. Selfish. Ego is precipitated and so many other things will happen and you will come you will be prey to the raga dvesha, likes and dislikes. You will choose the convenience at the cost of others. It may appear you are getting something initially, but in the long run it won't work. But with the increase of willpower, if you prioritize contribution, then all other things will be spontaneous. I understood that strengthening willpower need not be a separate exercise. Spiritual pursuit itself will spontaneously increase your willpower. So this is Sankalpa. When you decide something to go for that, their willpower is very important. Should I want it or I need it? There are differences between wants and needs. You may want so many things, but you should be after your needs, then contribution. The basic requirements for decent living is the need, then contribution means all other things without your wanting it will come automatically. So that is what at the stage of Sankalpa. Previously it was Udvega, the force of desires has to be managed, force of anger. But now, before that, in the mind itself, that Sankalpa stage you have to do it. This one, you see, Shanai Rupara means it has to be done. That is progress in this spiritual pursuit gradually. This just like other things, not only the studies. When you are learning swimming, it will take time to get adjusted with the this surroundings of water and your life belt, the help of the trainer. So like that, this is also you are crossing the samsara sagar. So it will take time. So you should have hope, determination, and efforts. Very important. You should never get dejected. That is very important. That is the meaning of this sloga. So these two slogas combined is over. The next sloga is ready.
6.26.
6.25.
Over.
Yes,
2425.
is over.
2425 is over.
मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरम् ततस्ततो नियम्यैतत् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्
27.
This one already covered.
Verse 26. For whatever reason, the unsteady mind, always in a state of flux, goes away, bringing it back from that. With reference to the self alone, may one bring the mind into one's own hands. That's the translation.
This 6.26 was already covered in the mind control. So anyway, it is the last week's example I can bring it. So when you sit for meditation, initially, that is why this was covered in the initial class, not in contemplation. So if the mind is occupied with thoughts, good or bad thoughts, you have to shift your mind to the consciousness from the thought. Awareness, you have to shift your mind to the awareness, not to the thought. Any Ishta Devata Swarupa or Nama. From that you have to shift your awareness to consciousness. The consciousness, in presence of consciousness only, the thought is coming. So this is what the fish tank example I gave you. So thought is like the fish, you are always after the thought. So you have to shift from your observing the fish from observation of the water. The water is in and through the fish. That is also another important thing. Last time I think I did not tell you. Water is in and through the fish. Fish depends upon the water. Water does not depend upon the fish. Similarly, the thought is depending on the consciousness, and consciousness is independent of the thought. Consciousness is in and through the thought. So just like the fish tank example, you have to shift it. That's what the new thing. Anyway, this is also a new thing. So though we have covered this sloka, I have told you again. So we will go to the 27th sloka.
प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनं योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम् उपैति शान्तरजसं ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम्
Chapter 6, verse 27. Indeed, the most exalted happiness reaches this meditator whose mind is tranquil, whose impurities have resolved, whose life is free from defects, who has become Brahman through knowledge. That's the translation.
So here I was getting some new thing to share with you. Prashanta Manasa. Tranquility. These 2-3 words are used here. Defectless and also pure and calmness. So altogether, I thought of telling you that cheerfulness. So what is the difference between animals and the human being? Have you seen any animal smiling? Just try to recollect. Smiling means not laughing and other things. A prashanta, that is cheerfulness. How can you expect in birds and animals? This is the beautiful state of human being. You can be in that state. It's not only with the self-knowledge, even in the normal life also, a cheerfulness. Even smiling is not possible by animals, by cheerfulness, expression. So not only a smiling face, pleasantness, and also it can be higher state, a cheerfulness, calmness, that you can get by this contemplation. That should be the state. That can happen that with the purity of mind, defectless mind, that is contentment and free from impurities. So contentment and impurity, purification has to happen in the preparatory stage. That is very important. And selfless attitude towards your contribution, karma yoga. With all these things, the preparatory requirements will be met. Then when you contemplate the nature of Atma as nature of you, then this cheerfulness will come. Not only that, tam vidya dukkha samyoga viyoga. That is, you will not be affected by anything. The completeness, no lacking, no missing, no fear, no duality, that will happen because the contemplation, you have to contemplate yourself to your higher self. That is not only unaffected by anything happening in the world, body, mind, but that is the Atma. Same thing is Brahman, sustainer of the universe. So what else? We already discussed all these things in the this one, that is Taittiriya Upanishad, that happiness only cognitively you have to understand. Here this contemplation. So one Kathopanishad mantra also we were trying to get it. Yachet Vang Manasi Pratyaha Tadyachet Jnana Atmani Jnanam Atmani Mahadini Yachet Tat Yachet Shanda Atmani. Kathopanishad mantra. This is what contemplation. Same thing as the Ekasloki Kim Jyodis Tava Bhanumana Akademi. Already I have told you. Now we will just see this Kathopanishad. Yachet Vang Manasi Prajna. Speech is one of the senses. You can, there Kim Jyodistava we took sight. The revealer. Sun reveals the world. How you know? Because of the sight. Here, Vang Manasi, Vang means, okay, speak. Whatever the sense is resolved in the mind. First, resolve the senses in the mind. That is what contemplation. They are not contemplating on any Ishta Devata or Namajapa or blankness or Samadhi. We already discussed about Samadhi. If you go to Samadhi for a few hours or few minutes or a few seconds and then come out of the normal world, it will be like coming from AC. So, nothing to do with those things. After understanding your real nature, this is what resolving the senses in the mind, then mind in the buddhi, then buddhi in yourself. That's what this Kathopanishad is. Then that's Shanta will come. Shanta. First senses, then mind, then knowledge base, buddhi, then buddhi is solved into the self. then the Shanta. That is what this sloka says. That kind of contemplation you have to do. So that is very important in this. So then, for that purification of mind is required. Then defectless mind. Then prashanta manasa. Then calmness will come. So this 27th sloka we will finish like that. Then the next 28th we will go. Yunjanyamala.
युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी विगतकल्मषः सुखेन ब्रह्म संस्पर्शम् अत्यन्तं सुखमश्नुते.
Chapter 6, verse 27. The meditator, free from the conflicts born of adharma, always uniting the mind with the object of contemplation, in this manner easily gains absolute happiness, born of contact with recognition of Brahman. That's the translation.
Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashka. See here the subject object, that difference has to be solved. See, when, for example, how it can resolve? See, the previous sloka and this sloka, you may, when you go through the extensive analysis, it appears to be contradicting. Because, see, first you are asked to contemplate on Atma. Here, Atma is you. So that way, subject-object contradiction may appear, but it is not. Because you are the Atma, then that subject-object difference will not be there when you contemplate. The example is that. See, when, for example, when you are in, some of the yoga students, when you are here, in Marathali, when you are coming. So here, for example, you are taking your friend one day along with you to come to Sai Padaka. So your friend does not know how far Sai Padaka is there. You know you are taking him. So here subject object, how it is changing, you see. You are reaching Sai Padaka. Along with you, subject is, your friend is also walking and coming. But your friend may ask you, has Sai Padaka come? Has your yoga center come? It is not only in English, it happens in our other language also. But how? Yoga center is not moved, that doesn't move. But we interchange the subject object. You are moving, but it is common thing that the object is interchanged with the subject. As the destination comes, how it will come? You are moving now. So this kind of subject-object relationship comes in normal communication also. But same thing when you contemplate on yourself, one sloka may appear that you have to contemplate on the nature of Atma. Here, nature of Atma is you. This kind of seemingly contradiction may come, but you have to ignore it, because in normal transaction, day-to-day routine, you use this. Another example is this: when you are going in a car, if you come across a deviation, you are there, driver is there. Driver is driving. Driver may be knowing this deviation, that deviation. Where you may ask the driver, where does that road goes? Road doesn't go anywhere. So the destination is taken for the road. So these kind of things, when it is happening in the routine, why don't you extend it to yourself? Means the self pursuit of yourself. So that is doer means what? Subject object
resolution takes place because you are the subject. Here, self, you are the subject, but in contemplation, what is happening? You are contemplating on yourself. So, unless otherwise you have totally understood that your nature is Atma, you cannot do contemplation, and if you don't do contemplation, you won't get the benefits. So, this subject-object resolution you have to understand and don't think there is contradiction in the teaching. Teaching is perfect, that's why we get the benefits. So seeing on the benefits, you have to accept that teaching is correct. If you are not able to understand, if you are not able to get benefit, the requirement is to be increased from your side, not in the teaching, not in the subject. That is sufficient. The next sloka we will go.
सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः.
Chapter 6, verse 29. One whose mind is resolved by this contemplation, who has a vision of sameness everywhere, sees the self abiding in all beings and all beings in the self. That's the translation.
Here, see, instead of understanding that you are in the body, you have to understand that all the bodies are in you. See, unless otherwise you are under, this is the final class of this module. So you have to come to that state or stage, whatever thing. It is not a state, it is your own nature, your own swarupa. So that is for your, there is no English word for that. Very carefully listen. It is your own nature. So that you have to cognitively only accept. See, normally what we say, we are the body, mind, and consciousness is a phenomena. But spiritual says the opposite. You are consciousness making use of the body. You are the consciousness manifesting in your body, mind, intellect. Opposite to the medical science. Medical science says awareness is a phenomena of the brain cells. How? If you ask questions, science cannot tell. Because brain and everything is chemicals, matter. Awareness is not anything to do with matter. It is separate principle, called spiritual principle, non-material principle. This science cannot understand because that's what science already. If I start about science, then the subject will go. I don't know what is the time now. Time is there?
Yeah.
Science
36.
is based on this awareness. Already we have told a lot of things because awareness, consciousness with power, when it is understood, it is God. God is general orders of developments and destruction. The science is based on the nature's behavior because from the Newton or whoever they observe, then investigator made some laws based on their observation and they extend it and it is given to the schools, college, postgraduates. Now corona, they are trying to extend their virology or microbiologist or medical science or vaccine and everything based on previous experience on analysis of so many other things, trying to extend it, but I think still vaccine is not in the offing. I don't know when it comes. So these are all science is based on nature, based on the order of the nature. That order of nature is God. So how science can prove God? So this is very important. Here what is happening? So you are not the phenomena of the body-mind complex or the brain. You are the awareness principle of higher nature. That is there only the problem comes. It cannot be proved. It cannot be experienced. I tell example, no? In the transactional reality, you are there, inside you there is space. In the stomach, definitely once in few hours you are getting the emptiness. In the lungs, definitely. And in the throat, 100%. Space is there. In the ear also. So inside you, space is there. But chemicals, the body, mind, chemicals can produce most of the things. It can produce waste things. It can produce gases. It can produce even light, electricity is produced in the brain. It produces so many things, but it cannot produce space. Chemicals cannot produce space. Chemicals are accommodated by space. Then how space comes inside you? Because you are in the space. You are in the space. Pot space, capacity of the pot is because pot is in the space, not space is in the pot. The hall, what is the space in the hall? Because the four walls are built in the open space. Then the inside we are getting a new name as hall. Similarly, the space which is inside you is because you are in the space. Your body is in the space. That is why space is inside you. The space is not produced. Similarly, you are in the awareness. This body and space is easily you can prove it. I have proved it now. Because both are in same reality. Transaction reality, empirical reality. Space you are objectifying, it's same reality. But when it comes to awareness, it is higher reality. So there only you have to be careful. Because your brain cannot produce consciousness, brain cannot produce awareness. Brain cannot produce awareness. How can it produce? If brain can produce awareness, they can formulate a neuron, combine millions of neurons, and the robot should have judgmental response and non-judgmental response. This, see, whatever is every day happening, I am telling again, same thing will be repeated. Every day you observe, not even few minutes, few hours, you may be responding first time in your whole life. Can any machine do it? How it is happening? Effortlessly it is happening, response. That's what a blade of grass produces the chlorophyll. Effortlessly, a blade of grass or leaf produces chlorophyll from the nature, from Panchabhuta. For producing 1 milligram of chlorophyll, you should have factory of 1 acre. See how the nature produces. This is what? God. So science cannot prove God. Now here what is you have to understand? Here, instead of understanding that you are in the body mind, the whole world is in you. You have to interchange. You are the consciousness sustaining the whole world. Then that previous sloga, Brahma Samskarsha, that you can enjoy, the cheerfulness. What a beautiful word, no? Brahma Samskarsha. So that is what you have to cognitively accept, then claim, you have to have the identification, shift the identification, pluck it from the ego, shift, attaching is and everything is within code to the Atma. Awareness is definitely there. So first at least you pluck it from the ego, you deprive the powers of your ego, sublate your ego, sublime your ego. Then you see the difference. Cheerfulness will automatically come. Then identification will automatically, because you are there, you have to identify with your Atma. That is self-evident. That's why more and more you understand the nature of Atma, it becomes more and more obvious. It is in and through all the activities, in and through all the thought process, Even when the activities are not there, thought process is also not there, no individuality, no functioning of any senses, you are there during your deep sleep. You are very close to your real nature. That is what the state that cognitively accept. That is your real nature. What is happening in the daytime is between that the activity period. Just see that activity period comes in between two deep sleeps. That is what the change the state. No, deep sleep. Your deep sleep, whether it is yesterday's deep sleep, maybe quantity may be less. In childhood, you would have more hours of deep sleep. What is the difference in the nature of deep sleep? Yesterday's deep sleep, last week's deep sleep, when you were 10 years before, deep sleep state, no difference. So that is your very close state. Why I am telling very close state? It is also a sleeper is there. That is a causal body. That's we already discussed. That is the transactional state is there. So you have to cross that, and escape velocity should be necessary for your mind to cognitively accept the state beyond that. That is the higher reality state. But deep sleep state is okay, because when transactional reality we can easily take example. There are no worries. You are there, but you are locationless. You are there, but you don't have location. So the whole universe is in you. You don't have other person. You need not tell other person is having, seeing you and everything. You don't have the sense of other people. You don't have individuality. Individuality is not there. Duality is also not there. So you are there. So just like space. Space does not have a location, but space is there. Similarly, you are there in sleep. The location is not there. So you are all pervading. Means what? Sustainer of the universe. Similarly, time. All this again we can tell. Deep sleep state, you don't know the time. So time is also in you, the space is also in you. You are the sustainer of space and time. So what happens? Past, present and future. Past, present and future. All the things are in you. So that is the your original state. When you accept it, you claim it, you own it up, then you will be having the enjoyment of, you can rejoice in yourself. So by the way, what will happen? All your activities will become more and more efficient. That's what this philosophy, not philosophy, the truth, is the pinnacle of personality development. Why? Because your body mind works at its optimum. When you are obsessed with your body, you cannot take care of your body. How can you? Already again repeated. No, you should have distance. So this one spontaneously makes you aware of the distance. Distance with what? Distance within quote. Because all these things are appearance. It is not countable. Whatever is the world, your relations, body, mind, everything is appearance in you. And the notion, soul is a notion. Within this appearance, it's a notion. So when you understand that, soul resolves, you are the Brahman. Atman from the point of your thinking mind, but same Atman is non-different from Brahman, the sustainer of the universe. When you accept it, what else you want? That is what fullness comes. So this is the benefit started now. Automatically it goes to the benefit stage from the contemplation state. That is why the second module also, we thought we will end with this sixth chapter. Few more slokas are there. We will cover. The next sloka is
30.
पश्यति सर्वत्र सर्वस्य मयि पश्यति तस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि स च मे न प्रणश्यति
Chapter 6, verse 30. The one who sees me in all beings and sees all beings in me, for him or her I am not remote, and he or she is not remote from me. That's the translation.
so here yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyakam pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. mom is replaced by the self. That is Bhagavan is. That's the previous sloga, this sloga, interchanging the word. So this knowledge, see any philosophy, any pursuit, the highest pursuit is either this religious, above that is spiritual. Ultimate bhakti is jnana. That we will see in the next module when we combine bhakti. So materialistic pursuits are more and more this one now if you go for it, more and more insecurity. It's not security. So we will not bring it. Religious, okay, the ultimate bhakti. Now here what is happening is replacing the Atma with Ishvara. So when you identify yourself with Ishvara, God, the fullness comes. Before that or along with that, when you identify yourself with that awareness, that is non-changing awareness, that is witness consciousness, you are not affected by anything in the world, body or mind. Same witness consciousness from the point of totality, it is God. Brahman with power is God. So with power, if you identify yourself, the whole universe is in you. But never bring your body mind in that picture. That is what the people get confused. See, body mind has got limited power. So you are transcending the body mind. So this question should never appear. How am I God? I am God from the point of my essential nature. Not from this body mind. This is not even 40-50% fit physically. Mental upliftment is what? Limitlessness. This is the opposite thing happens. When your age progresses, it is possible because it is natural that your physical fitness comes down. The Shadvikara is there. Declension, elimination. But mind can go up, uplift, and the total completeness can come. Using the mind only you have to understand that your original nature of the totalness, fullness. So naturally, how without mind you cannot. That is the purpose of life, See, the purpose of life is the direction and goal of the Bhagavad Gita, how it leads. Without body and mind, how will you enjoy this? Not only that you can have the fullness using your mind, that is the last sloka, I keep it for that. How you cut the rebirth. Jivan Mukta till your last breath, and Ishvara, what the body goes. That is the last sloka, 47th sloka, because this is I think 30th, 31st and 32. After that some discussion is there between Arjuna and Bhagavan. There this 40 to 45. Before that again this one, that is 30th sloka and everything we covered. That is about the mind control and everything. So Abhyasana Kaundeya, Vairagya, all these things come. That's why Bhagavad Gita, when you study, you have to pick up the sloka and with the guidance you have to do. So 34, 35, 36 up to 40 is those things between for the mind control. Then 40 to 45 is what? This pursuit will not go waste. You will pick up the thread from the next birth where you left this birth. That is what when you take a U-turn towards yourself, you will be going to reach yourself. So that is the beauty explained from 40 to 45. So we will end with the 46th and 47th sloka. 47th is the last sloka of this 6th chapter. So 46th and 47 will be explaining about Jivan Mukta and everything. Before that, 1 or 2 slokas are there. 31, 32 will complete now.
सर्वभूतस्थितं यो मां भजत्येकत्वमास्थितः सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि स योगी मयि वर्तते
Chapter 6, verse 31. The one who gains the vision, having recognized the oneness of me abiding in all beings, that yogin abides in me, whatever he or she does. That's the translation.
Here, this sloka actually I was trying to recite, but time I don't know. The explanation is more important also. So, this we have to understand some concept of profound concepts of. See, there are perception is there, inference is there, then example upamana is there, arthapatti, presumption, and absence, anupalabdhi. These are all the types of knowledge. In addition to this, there is a direct and indirect. That's what the Vedanta's extra things which may not be in the normal thing. So what is the pratyaksha is there, which is in front of you. But if it is somewhere, it is an indirect knowledge. So first we explained about Brahman, Atman. It may appear it is a remote. But the same thing when the teaching tells that you are not, that you are it is you, it is Brahman is not somewhere, that paraksha becomes aparoksha. The indirect becomes direct. So this you have to understand. See, when this slokas, when I was going through this home study, what you experience is as from the body mind, from the body mind complex, or from the point of view, or before understanding the fullness, if you think that still you are the soul, whatever you experience as soul through body and mind, it is direct. I am having the problem of family, I am having the problem of my job, I am having the problem of corona. We tell all these things in a short word, samsara. Whatever the explanation, everything is there in the crossword. It is starting from the stress, ultimate is ambiguity in the direction. If everything is accomplished, still there is a emptiness. Where is the direction? What is the direction of life? Ambiguity, goal. But there's the ultimate. If everything, if we are fulfilling, and then that comes. Otherwise, it is all going around this stress, then anxiety, then misunderstanding, I tell, no, then struggling, then again apprehensions, then regrets in the old age, regrets, all these things will come. So this is what? Direct experience. Is it not direct? But if without this self-knowledge, without anything to do with self-knowledge, as a religious person, you are gone asking God to save you, or to give you anything which you don't have, or you are asking to remove some problem. So what you experience is direct. Then when you take this self-knowledge, what we tell, you are God, that is also will be direct. You are Atma, that also is direct. So from indirect, it teaches that it is the direct knowledge. Just like your experience samsara direct, the same thing will be aparoksha. Paroksha is indirect. It is about profound, because we have to end this module. That is why I go this level. Otherwise, there is no point in telling what you already understood. So, when you Upanishad is teaching Brahman, Atman, nature of Atman, fullness, and higher reality, absolute reality, Paramarthikam, it may appear as indirect, but finally it is telling it is non-different from you, Tat Tvamasi, Tat Tvamasi. First it is telling about Brahman, then that is non-different from you. Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. Brahma Satyam Jagan Nitya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. You are non-different from the Almighty, from the point of essential nature, not from body, mind, intellect. And same you are the sustainer of the universe, the higher reality. Higher reality is See, with power you cannot be peaceful. You think that power makes you, no. In sleep, what power you are having? Are you not peaceful? Imagine. So that is what Nirguna, Brahma. So that stage is the tranquility stage. Fullness comes because you are the non-different from Ishvara. So those things are like aparoksha jnana. So here, Puri Swamiji is explaining about a thing. You are a student, teacher is having something in hand. You don't know the name. You are able to perceive it. Then the teacher explains that is a crystal. Till that it is, see, these are all the example only. How aparoksha and paroksha. When you don't know, it is, you might have studied crystal, but you don't know that is crystal. But when the teacher tells, yeah, you have been studying about crystal, this is the crystal. So then it becomes direct knowledge. You are able to see it, but you will not be able to connect it to the name. That's what. When he shows a glass piece, you may think it's a glass piece, but then he tells it is a crystal. Then he tells about the property of the crystal, virtual image it makes. So many things are there in physics, I think, about the crystal. And so that is what the indirect knowledge becomes direct from the point of transaction reality. That is transaction reality, empirical reality. Subject-object difference is there. But here, from the point of self-knowledge, there is no subject-object difference. That is one thing, and the subject is of higher reality. So when you accept you are Brahman, you are the higher reality, then the subject-object difference is not only not there, and you are the higher reality, the Brahman, the totality again. So the one more sloka is there, then finally we will end with the last two slokas. I think 30 seconds you have to do now.
Yeah. 9 o'clock.
आत्मोपन्येन सर्वत्र समं पश्यति योऽर्जुन सुखं वा यदि वा दुःखं स योगी परमो मतः.
Chapter 6, verse 32. One who, taking oneself as an example, basis in all situations, sees either pleasure or pain as the same, that yogin, Arjuna, is regarded as the most exalted. That's the translation.
We will spend few minutes and finish this module, otherwise it will not end. So now, some few very peculiar questions come. How the Jivan Mukta will not only he enjoys himself, the actions of a Jivan Mukta is dharma. You see, the vision and expression of Jivan Mukta means vision means what? That is, he is so strong with respect to himself and so soft with respect to others. Vision is the strength, expression is with the world. How it happens? Same simple thing. Again, same thing. Because he is identifying himself with God. God is non-different from Dharma. Dharma, that's what Manasakshi. How Dharma reflects in your pure mind, Manasakshi. The MMT, no? I should not do to others what I don't want others to do to me. Simplest Dharma. Only in pure mind it reflects. Okay, that's all. That time is already not there. So, when a Jivan Mukta identifies himself with Dharma, his actions will be dharmic. Others' pain is his pain, but his happiness is non-dependent. But when it comes to any kind of compassion required situations, he will have compassion. There he will not go and laugh, because he is coming to body mind, and whatever help possible will be extended by, then prayers are there. So that is what the Jivan Mukta thing. So Jivan Mukta's, how will the Jivan Mukta's actions will be dharmic? Because he is identifying himself with Dharma. So that's why the actions, expressions of him will be dharmic. This is a beautiful explanation. He is identifying with others. So already I told you that already we are extending. We'll end with the last 2 slokas, because how this yoga is the highest yoga. Yoga not from the point of any kind of Ashtanga yoga or Hatha yoga or Raja yoga. Okay, that's all. Raja yoga is very high, good, but still this is the top. That's what Bhagavan is telling. The 46th sloka we'll see. He is comparing other yogas with this yoga, Jnana yoga. Yeah, we will have this.
तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी तस्मात् योगी भवार्जुन.
Chapter 6, verse 46. A yogin is considered superior to those who live a life of meditation, superior even to the scholars, and superior to those who perform action. Therefore, Arjuna, be a yogin. That's the translation.
So what is happening to the Arjuna? No? By becoming a Jnana yogi, his actions becomes dharmic, he is able to start the fight. That is from the point of empirical reality. But what Bhagavan is telling is comparing Jivan Mukta, who has accomplished Jnana yoga. He is superior to those who are having samadhi, meditation, or meditation on Ishta Devata. Samadhi is the state, again you have to come out. Ishta Devata against duality. So you are superior because you are the sustainer of everything. Then you are better than scholars. Scholarship of the same knowledge will not give you benefit. When you contemplate, you as Atma, you will get benefit. That is about the scholarship. So you are better than any kind of scholar. That is why Jnanavalkya want to leave the place, handing over everything to the things to the another way, then going. That's what beauty. Materialistic has no end, but here there is an end. So it's not only this yogi is better than a meditator, better than a scholar, better than a ritualistic also. Why ritualistic? Because by doing punya and punya and punya, you can get swarga. Then swarga means what? Again, you will not know when your punya is ending. You will drop back to the earth. That's again in the 9th chapter we will see. So, in Jnana yogi is better than all other yogis. Now we will go to the 47th sloka, the last sloka. Yoginam abhi sarvesha. We will see.
योगिनामपि सर्वेषाम् मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो माम् स मे युक्ततमो मतः.
Chapter 6, verse 47. The one who has Shraddha, who with a mind absorbed in me, contemplates upon me, he is the most exalted among all yogins. This is my vision. That's the translation.
So here what is happening? Absorb in your Atma. When you get absorbed in your Atma, absorb yourself in Atma, what happens to your karma? What happens to your karmas? Here only the final stage of benefit comes, that the doership goes away. When you identify yourself with Atma, all the karmas, that is, which is accumulated in Sanchita karma, becomes locusless. It is losing its locus because you are identifying yourself with Atma. So what happens to Prarabdha? Prarabdha karma will be experienced by the body mind, and whatever your action, Agami karma, that is because your actions will be as per Dharma. So intentionally you will not do any kind of mistakes. So the punya, if at all it gets accumulated, it will go to Sanchita. But what will happen, this is the beauty. When this body mind perishes, Jiva will not be able to find a locus to stick. So, what is that locus? Causal body. The storage of Sanchita karma. That's why it is Jnani is glorified, then his punya goes to the devotees and papas go to the person who is troubling. That's all glorification. But what happens logically, that karma that is in a lower reality will not get a locus to stick. That's why the soul, we are telling, when the jnani tells that he is not even jiva, no soul at all. So the karmas are attached to soul only. The way during the life itself, there is no causal body for him because he is jivan mukta. So when they at the end of prarabdha karma, the sanjita karma will mix with the samashti. When we tell all these things, it is not believable. Means just an example, lower reality, higher reality. Just imagine one big mirror in one of the walls, full wall is a mirror. Full wall is a mirror. What will happen? This length of the room will be doubled. Or doubled means what? Inside there will be one more space. Here is a chair, there is a chair. Here and there. When full mirror, 10 by 10, 10 feet by 10 feet mirror, imagine. That inside area and the mirror, you compare. Mirror is objective reality. Because you are able to objectify the mirror, you can touch the mirror. But the space inside that is lower reality. Why? So whatever is action happening in those space, that may be the reflection here. It's okay. If I am searching, if I am eating, if I am holding, it will be appearing. But that action does not have a locus. Now, if I tell the final example, you will agree. If I burn a paper here, the paper will get burned. There also paper will get burned. But will it affect the glass? Mirror. Fire will be seen in the mirror. That fire will destroy the paper which is of lower reality. But the fire will not affect the mirror. If you now easily understood, the fire will burn the paper. Fire will appear in the mirror. That fire, the image fire will destroy the image paper. But the image fire cannot touch the mirror. That is what that action-reaction cycle gets cut off. That's why Sanjita Karma goes away. You do not have rebirth. This we will end. Already we are extended. We will end this session and you can tell the final story.
Purnamada.
No, Purnamada. That is Krishna Sampada. Otherwise, we will end with the Purnamada next. We will end with the Purnamada.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ